Okay. All right. Let's look up there.
We're live. Woo-hoo.
I know. I'm still looking at the wrong place. We're going to look up. Okay. Hey, guys. It's Michelle
I'm Lindsay.
with ADHD How To and
WTF.
So this video is going to be ridiculous. It is our first time to go live. Oh, my pen's rolling away. Did I bump the table? It's our first time to go live through YouTube. And found out that until we have 50 subscribers, we cannot go live through my phone.
Right.
We have to go live through the webcam on the computer, which it's very difficult to not look at the screen, to look directly at the webcam. So we have my phone set up on a tripod behind the computer so that we can look at it. So if it doesn't look like we're looking straight at you, it's because we're looking at my phone above it.
Right. And sometimes anyway, I'm off looking in the distance anyway, trying to retrieve a memory. So,
or I've just been lost for a second. My medicine, I think, should be kicking in any second.
Oh my. All right. Well, we're here and we're glad you're here too.
Yes. Or you're watching after the fact. I want to cross my leg, but I got to back up so I don't hit the table. If I hit this table, this whole operation is going to be over. So,
like it's going to go down. We hope it doesn't.
Yeah, let me back up a little bit again because if my legs start swinging. Okay. All right. So,
funny.
We've been trying to get everything going. We obviously are not a high-tech operation. Eventually,
we have lives. Yeah.
And we will be. We've been playing around with trying to do it in green screen backgrounds, but it looks like that Back to the Future, where we're at the was it the Under the Sea dance, and all our pictures almost disappeared.
Start to disappear. Yeah, you see an arm disappear here. Right
yeah,
here.
It's like, Marty, hurry up, get your parents to make out or whatever they're supposed to do. So, and we decided that we want our lives. Oh no, my phone went dark. I have to be able to see myself.
That's okay.
My cleavage to show.
We'll
get more views. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We want to start doing our actual shows live, so it can be more like getting to know us, more conversational, instead of every single episode almost being like
a whole bunch of information,
like class. And class. Not classy.
Like classy? What do you? Oh,
no, not classy.
Like
no.
we're schooling you. Yes.
Not with me. No. I meant like class, like having to sit through defensive driving videos. I think we're more interesting than that. Did you know that I used to teach comedy defensive driving?
Wait, what? Comedy defensive? Wait, what?
Yeah. So, but so I am a stand-up comedian. I am a stand-up comedian. And have been for 24 years. And so one of my home comedy clubs in Texas, so the phone went dark, but I can still kind of, you know what? I bet if I hit record, it won't go dark.
Yep. Probably guaranteed.
Oh, I gotta unlock it. So you keep talking while I unlock my phone.
So I'm just so interested on what you're going to say next about a comedy club in Texas that has to do with defensive driving.
Yes. So comedy clubs are like, we're going to make money any way we can. And so
that was their idea.
Yeah. Well, a lot of comedy clubs do it. So they would teach it's defensive driving. Like you have to take, oh, see, now it won't go dark. Sorry. I had my boobs right in your face. They,
back so I can take a look at you too. So,
and my boobs. No. So, so comedy clubs, to make extra money, they get licensed or whatever so that they can teach defensive driving, and they have comedians teach it. It wasn't funny at all. We had to try to add in comedy. And I was 19 when I was doing it. And you got these 40 and 50-year-old men that got a ticket. And
it does kind of sound like a train wreck. Oh, wait, and you said it's a bar too?
No, it wasn't a bar.
Why did I just imagine that it was that you were at?
Oh, it's even better. It was in the party room of the Golden Corral.
Okay.
And
I've never been, but okay.
A buffet, like Orion's.
Okay, right.
Yeah. It was not funny. I don't know how you make comedy defensive driving. I was 19, and these grown men, and it was 6 hours. They did not want to sit in there with my listening to me teach them about railroad crossing safety, all this other stuff. Anyway, How did we even get talking about this?
I don't know, but a railroad.
I think you said train wreck, and maybe that made
Well,
me
I
think
was
of it.
about to say, I go, yeah, the
Anyway, so we are going.
you'll
I don't
just get more of this. That's okay though.
Yes, but it's one of those things where it's like we're gonna start using the reels and the shorts and stuff like that
They probably don't care about that.
to do our
They're like,
this is just going to be the one where you just get to talk to us and and we do have like I don't know if I have it turned on, but there's there'll be like a little chat thing so you can talk to us, but just don't be weird. Did I tell you about the charming gentleman that messaged me after I posted my video about stimming,
no.
the one where I was standing up and I did it like the weather girl thing?
Yes.
And they say chivalry is dead.
What happened?
Lovely young man that lives over in the UK somewhere. He has since been blocked. He messaged me and asked if he could take me to Browntown. I'm assuming that's a very romantic city somewhere,
I
right?
hope so. Yeah.
I was
Okay,
like,
gross.
super gross. We
We
need
don't
like
need
a
that type of stuff. Come on, guys.
we need like a male moderator that goes in like a bouncer
Right? Yes.
and it's like, you know what? These are my sisters.
Mm.
I will you up. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, there will be no cussing. I censor myself because I like get silent on the. I already have these
That's okay.
videos marked as not for kids.
Right.
So this first video, I'm looking down at the wrong place. Be a little get to know us. So without giving away too much personal information, even though all the videos that I post on Instagram, I give away my location like way too much. Way too much.
Yeah.
I don't give the address, but I'm like, this is where you can find me on
Don't do
blah, blah,
it.
blah
Yes.
days.
No, don't do it.
I'm not doing it unless you're like super hot. Then I'll give
No,
you the
no, we're
exact
not
address.
doing that.
I'm kidding, unless you have a beard and it's gray. You have to have like a lot of tattoos, and my husband has to die. No, I'm kidding. My husband just died. Why did I just say that?
We digress. We forget. We're live. Okay,
Hair
3
in my
minutes
mouth.
in.
Oh my god.
Okay,
That's what
so-
I get. I'm gonna choke on my own
So
hair.
this is what happens. We are both neurodivergent, and that means that we have ADHD brain. We also have a few other things that have been diagnosed and not diagnosed yet. So
let's just
still
tell
on the journey.
the whole thing.
Oh, I did it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Do you want me to go first or you go first? Just tell here, I'll do it and then you'll
Okay.
see what I mean.
Okay.
So, name's Michelle. I'm originally from East Texas, born and raised. Was an Army brat. Moved all around. Lived in Europe for a little while, but mostly raised in a town called Garland, Texas. And when I was 19, I started doing stand-up comedy. I've been doing it ever since. I used to work the road all the time, traveled, worked with. I'm not trying to be like, but sometimes people are like, stand-up comedy, does that mean you like told jokes in your living room? No, I actually made a really good living, worked with a lot of famous people, did all the really good comedy clubs, stuff like that. When I started popping out kids, you make more money doing a corporate show working one night than you do working a week at a comedy club. So I do still perform, but hardly anywhere where like, if somebody were to message and be like, oh, let me know when I can come see you.
It's like a private event, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like
It's a corporate private event, so
Like
not just anybody can show up.
Dollar General, their whole corporate thing, their Christmas party. Like I worked that. Anyway, I did a show for NASA when they were celebrating their last launch back in 2011, I think.
That's really cool.
And they had space cake. They did. By space cake, I mean, and I'll go and I'll post a picture. It was just a regular
That's really
cake, but it
cool.
had a picture of like the shuttle and stuff on it. But they gave us all this space stuff, not like meteorites, but all this like NASA swag. It was really cool. It was when I lived in Houston and we went to the Houston Space Center.
That's
to do
really
it.
cool. Kind of love space.
Anyway,
All right, that's a lot.
so yeah. Fast forward in 2004, I met my husband on a Christian dating site. We met in February of 2004. He lived in Dallas, Georgia. I lived in Dallas, Texas. I didn't realize it was the wrong Dallas until his mom's check had already cleared. And then it was like, oh, well, I don't have the money to refund you. I guess I'll move. So we met in February of 2004.
Oh, that's funny.
Online, we talked. We met face to face in April, engaged in July. And by November, I had moved to Georgia and was locked in his basement. No, I had moved to Georgia and we're married, and we've been married for 21 years this November. Don't clap or anything. It's not that great. I'm kidding. I'm joking. That's actually a bit. I'm talking really fast. I took a little extra of my
meds.
My meds, because I was feeling really whatever. Okay, I feel really hyper right now. Because I don't think it's kicked in. Actually, when it kicks in, I'll be like,
okay.
So,
well, all right.
Anyway, diagnosed with bipolar in 2007. The reason that I got diagnosed, I always knew that I had problems with rage and with my emotions, but I thought that everybody did that, and I thought that I was just like a loser that didn't know, that like just needed to get over it, needed to learn how to manage stress. But my best friend at the time, she was bipolar. She was she has the type that like I could actually be hospitalized. She has delusions. She got hospitalized, and I wanted to know how to support her. And so I started doing a lot of research on bipolar. And when I was researching it, I was like, oh my gosh, it was like somebody had opened up my brain. I'm like, so the way that I feel is not normal. So I went to the doctor. I ended up getting diagnosed, got put on mood stabilizer, spent a while trying to get the medication right. I was diagnosed with ADHD back then, but every single medication that they tried to put me on threw me into mania. So I had to choose, okay, do I want my bipolar treated or do I want my ADHD treated? At the time, so this was 18 years ago, I didn't know enough about ADHD to know how much my bipolar symptoms were, how much of my ADHD symptoms I thought were bipolar symptoms. Oh. And so I spent, because I didn't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. So I've been on ADHD medicines for 3 years now. So I spent 15 years only on a mood stabilizer and anxiety medicine. And that changed my life because I stopped having manic episodes and depressive episodes, but I still struggled so bad with irritability and executive functioning and being able to handle change and just so much, my emotional regulation and everything and attention, it was all still off. But I thought, okay, well, these are just things that bipolar medicine can't control, but it control it like my mania is controlled. So I need to, like, this is as good as life's going to get.
That's what we always tell ourselves too.
Yeah. This is just
when we're suffering in science, we're going, oh yeah, this is it. Yep. This is what I'm dealing.
And still dealing with, I carried so much guilt. Like, I couldn't get things done. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously just a lazy piece of, and
that's what we tell ourselves in our mind. Mm-hmm.
I need to learn how to manage my emotions better. It affected relationships. Anyway, so it was not until 2000. Oh, and let me back up because I want to include all this because we talk about in our videos how trauma does not cause ADHD, but trauma does impact how ADHD manifests in your life. I'm very much an open book. From the time that I was about 3 until I was 15, I was sexually abused by multiple men. Grew up with every type of abuse that you can possibly think of. Alcoholic household, watching, mom get physically abused is, horrible. I can talk about it now like I'm talking about going to Walmart, though, because I went through from 2007 until 2008 till 2011, I think. I don't remember the years. I went
don't worry
through
about the years.
4 years of intensive therapy called EMDR, which is how you treat PTSD. That is what, if I had to, the 3 most important things I've ever done in my life, it's gave my life to Jesus, married my husband, and then right next to, just barely below married my husband, would be Dr. Yael Leish in Atlanta, Georgia, doing my EMDR treatment. I will do a whole episode later about EMDR if you want to know more about it. So I wanted to include my trauma because it manifests. You'll see when we talk about sensory issues and stuff, how that plays in. And I think it's really important to mention, because I know a lot of you men and women both, you'll be able to resonate, or it will resonate with you. So in 2022, I realized, like, there's got to be something else. I started researching ADHD, and I'm like, I've got to try to get this under control, because I realized how much your emotional regulation, played a part in ADHD. Mm-hmm. Went to my doctor, found out there was a new medicine. I won't say the name of it. There was a new medicine. At the time, I was also struggling really bad with binge eating disorder. And this new medicine treated binge eating disorder and ADHD. Started on it. We can talk about all that later. Started my ADHD journey,
right?
Learning more and more
about
it.
In a newer way, with actual meds that are actually helping, right?
Mm-hmm.
With all the things that she just said. Told yourself, oh, this is it. This is as good as I get. This is what I have to deal with.
Then it stopped working, and I switched to a different medicine, got a different doctor. I still struggle. It's still not there.
Well, and then now we're in perimenopause. So that's so that just throws all that other research work gone with the meds, because they work with our brain's hormones. So, mm-hmm. So our hormones go like this. So does the meds. They just don't. They
ridiculous.
Don't work.
Everything is.
Yes.
So so that's where I'm at now. 43.
Did you get an autism diagnosis?
Oh, yes. And found out I got the TISM. Found out last summer. Totally makes sense. Plays a huge role. So I'm bipolar, cured PTSD. My bipolar, though, has been in remission so long that they consider it, like, they don't even really count it. If I were to come off my mood stabilizers, it would.
Right.
But ADHD, I still take anxiety medication, and autism. 43 years old. Have a daughter that is going to turn 10 in 3 weeks. I have a son that is going to turn 15 in 5 weeks. And I have a daughter that passed away that would be turning 11 on the 15th of this month. And she and I, we can talk about how we met, whatever, but my history, that's just the general whatever leading up until now.
Okay.
That's me.
Yep. I don't know if I can do it as detailed as you have.
It didn't. Once I started going, my medicine is kicking in now because I'm slowing down.
All right. So, I don't know. Georgia born, Georgia peach. I can't even emulate what she's going through, aside from when I was in, I wish kindergarten, little past kindergarten. They were like, oh, Lindsay's not getting the curriculum. Let's have her tested. Well, they tested me. I'm dyslexic. And ever since then, that's where I put anything in my life that was different that I couldn't explain. It was like, well, it must be with my dyslexia. That's why I can't speak to somebody. That's why, the working memory or the word retrieval is not coming because of dyslexia, which, is more other things. But let me see. Yeah. Somehow made it through life till 40. I'm 40, about going to be 44 this year. However, let's see, things started to get so bad for me when I had my first child. She's 9. So that's when me and my sister, or my support system, we were like, hey, how come we can't work through these things? What is going on with us? How can we keep blowing up? How can we do this? What is going on? How come we cannot mentally fix what we're doing or stop ourselves? And it was that emotional dysregulation that was off the charts that I tried to describe to the rest of my family. And they're like, it's just a temper, just that, something like that. And I say the rest of my family, I just mean a couple of them because, we'll fast forward that later. But so me and my sister got help, but it all branched from taking my daughter to her school, which is a co-op because otherwise we both homeschool. And she was like, oh, hey, your daughter she's ADHD. And I was like, okay, what do I do? What's that?
No, that's not what
I do.
No, you were like,
I was like, what is that? No, I don't know.
It took like a year.
Thank you. So just see, I have no memory. You have to explain it. Yeah. I just know I got through it. That's why I don't remember things. I'm like, unless it was like something really awful, then I'll probably remember it. Maybe not. Anyway, okay. Right. So it was hard because I just wasn't ready to hear it. So, okay, well, when I did.
But see, I think that's a good part of your story to share.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Because that shows how hard it is.
It is, yes.
Especially if you've always been told, like, no, you just need to get over it. No, you're just.
And there was a lot of that in the household. Just get over it and just. Where was I? I don't know. So daughter's diagnosed. Eventually, I don't know how long that took then. And then it was like, okay, I better try to get myself going because I don't even remember what happened before that. Okay, anyway. Well,
how many kids do you have?
3.
Where did you grow up?
Decatur, Cobb County.
How did you meet your husband?
My best friend.
I'm going to turn like I'm
Emily,
interviewing
rest
her.
in peace.
Oh my gosh, I almost fell off the chair.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so.
That would have been worse than views.
Met him through a friend. Now you're out of view.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can see myself in that one.
Come back.
Okay.
And, well, we've been married since 2013.
So you met through a best friend.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, well.
Married since 2013. And did I already say did you say how many kids you have?
Yes.
And their ages?
No.
Okay.
Because I can't tell you because I just. Okay, yeah. So ever since I turned 40, which was about when I had the other 2 kids, I don't remember their birth dates. I was like, hey, something else is going on here. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of it where I just was overloaded, and that was like that just wasn't important information, and it was like let it go. So I literally cannot remember their birthdays, but I have it written down. So
I think Jed is 3 and Jack is 4.
Right, they are. Yeah, but I can't tell you their birth dates.
I can't.
I can't remember it.
I can't either because I'm a terrible aunt. No.
Oh my.
Tell them about your perimenopause journey and the testosterone and.
All right. So after I got diagnosed with ADHD, I was like, man, life is good. This is so great. Oh, yay. I can do things. I feel alive. I have control over my life instead of it controlling me. I was stopped living in, as I've heard some people say, living in like adrenaline mode where I was just surviving. And that's what I was doing, just surviving. And now I was thriving and then was like, okay, I forgot the question.
Your perimenopause journey.
Right.
And
Okay.
Testosterone. How much?
That's right. So all of a sudden, all that good
Just
stuff was happening. And then,
you keep going.
And then my meds aren't working. And my fluctuation of hormones is going up and down in the form of, sorry, there's a whole bunch of interruptions. Yep. She disappeared. My brain went blank because I did not get enough sleep last night. For some reason, just woke up horribly. So.
Sorry, I got something in my eyeball.
I got nothing. I'm like,
I got something in my eye.
I've lost our audience.
I apologize.
They're not going to listen to me again.
Yes, they will. I had something in my eyeball.
Because I don't know what I'm talking about now.
So okay, so let's start
I'm like, enough about me. I'm done. Let's talk about cool stuff.
How did we start doing this this show. I posted the text that you sent that day. So one day she just sends me a text and she's like, we should do a show. This is what we should call it. It was like on a Wednesday, I think. And I was like, yes, let's start this week. And then she responded, kick ass. And then 2 days later, I was at her house and we started. She had already named it, and we started
to refined it, but it goes with our passion of we couldn't believe all this happened to us, and we just thought, man, everyone needs to know about this. Plus, it was part of our passion where we're really into it, and we're into human behavior, and we're into talking and trying to figure out and working. We're problem solvers,
yes,
right? Each in our own different ways, which is a good way that we don't want to be the same. So
so that's the other thing too, that I think, one, I just adore Lindsay with every ounce of my being. And I thank God every single day that he brought her into my life. And I'm not just saying that. She is a very special soul, but I think the reason that we work so well together. So there's different types of ADHD. There's inattentive, impulsive, there's mixed. And then there's hyperactive, impulsive, inattentive, and then mixed. She is the inattentive type, which means she is a lot calmer, but she has slower processing, memory issues a little bit more, and everybody's different.
Yes.
And I said your autism and stuff plays into it. I am the mixed type. I'm hyperactive, impulsive, but then I do still have some processing issues, and my autism plays into it a whole lot. But she and I both are fascinated by human behavior, and both of us we will pick up on things like little nuances, patterns. We are really good at picking up on stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of the autism. Part of it, I firmly believe in. I'm a very strong Christian. I firmly believe in spiritual gifts. Like, I won't get into the whole thing, but I definitely, I was blessed to have good intuition. Sometimes, if I'm using it properly, I don't know how to say that, but
well, in my whole life, I would have premonitions. So I would see futuristic things, but I'm not sure if it was the way my mind just kept going to see the patterns and saw what was going to happen.
I was trying to because it's very tricky when you try to say that. I'm talking about for me, especially in a biblical way, to say prophetic or whatever. But
yeah, well, I mean, they speak about it in the Bible, and that's exactly.
Yeah, there's. She and I both, we'll dream death before it happens. We'll sense it before it happens. They'll, God will put someone on my heart and say, you need to do this, or you need to reach out to this person. Every single time I reach out to them, they're like, how did you know this was going on?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I had a thing earlier this year. I was at this restaurant. This is the first time this has ever happened. God told me, he's like, you need to walk over to that woman's table and you need to ask her if you can pray with her. And I was like, say what now? Huh? Did you dial the wrong number? Because the thought of that makes me want to vomit and die. He was like, girl, get your booty up. So I walk across the restaurant to this woman that was sitting there with who I assumed was her mother. And I thought I was going to throw up. And I was like, ma'am, I promise you I'm not crazy. God told me I needed to come over here and ask you if I could pray with you. She burst into tears. I'll tell the whole story later.
Right, but that's the whole thing is
there was a major thing going on in her life. We're still friends.
She can pick up on those frequencies and those feelings and those emotions. Just like I have heard in other cases where an autistic or even ADHD person, I mean, they can smell certain things that other people can't smell.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a good example, but it is heightened.
The only thing I can liken it to is like animals that can sense a seizure. how animals that know
There's
when
that.
a storm is coming, so they go to high ground.
Right, there is that, but I've also heard some nurse practitioners. I've heard them say that they are able to smell what certain like gonorrhea smells like. They can smell it.
I don't
they
think
know.
that I want
I know
that.
this. I know this is a little bit bizarre, but for somebody to
I
pick
believe
up
it.
on that, it's like,
Well, you know what? I can smell sickness, and I have a friend that said
There you
that he could smell sickness.
Mhm.
It, yeah. So mine, like, what a big one of mine is, and I sometimes it's very frustrating. I am usually drawn to people, like people will get put in my life that are they're very they carry a lot of
Mhm.
and they're very not misunderstood. It's people carrying a lot, and a lot of times it's old men like Matt's dad. I had him, but I could see, like, God gave me the ability to see Matt's dad in a way that no one else could.
Mhm.
And this happens a lot where I can see through somebody's masking. I can tell when they are lying. I can tell, I can see the parts of them that
Mhm.
they don't want anyone else to see, because it would make them too vulnerable, because they're too ashamed of it,
Mhm.
because they feel like if someone knew.
Do you see it off the bat? Do you see it like
So
or does it happen with like you need like a little bit of situation or like,
no, it doesn't have to. So what'll
bit of
happen? Like
time.
I'll give one perfect example. It happened not too long ago. Those person on, you already know what I'm talking about. There was a person, like, for years, like, just somebody would just get on my radar.
Okay, well I guess what I was trying to figure out is I understand that they were on your radar, and
But then when it finally connects,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it'll turn into a snowball.
Okay.
And then, like, when they're on my radar, it'll be like almost like that's when a file in my brain gets created, and all these little things will go in this file. And I'm like,
yes, because we notice things.
yes, and they'll just get filed
You
away.
collect them, yeah.
And it's not on purpose. It's not me like,
No, I'm with you, but it's
oh,
like,
let me write down this behavior. It'll just,
no, it's a catalog, and it does that. But you're like, hey, but I don't remember what I did yesterday or ate yesterday, but I remember that thing about that person.
yes,
That's
and
what
it gets
happens.
filed away, and it's
Yes.
not, it's involuntary. It's not what, and so sometimes I'll carry it, like I said, in this instance, I carried it for years, and I'm like, why the hell
Why do I still have this file?
Why do I notice these things? Why is this sticking with me? And then if I finally end up connecting with that person, sometimes I won't know right away why, but then it usually, like, really quickly it'll get revealed, and I'm
Right.
like, oh, so maybe this is why. But then sometimes once I've connected, and this has happened a couple times, God will be like, this is why. I need you to show this person this, or this person is going to help you grow while you help them grow. Something. And there's times when it's worked out really, really well. And there's, like, in this one instance, and I am a firm believer in the devil does not try to break into empty houses. And so if you're trying to do that with somebody that has something in them that God wants to bring out and God wants to use, and gives you the assignment to try to help them see it, then the devil is absolutely going to get pissed off and try to interfere. That can happen in a very bad way, and it can make things very difficult. And anyway, so definite interference. But just like I have a tattoo that says Isaiah 66:9, I will not cause pain without allowing something new to be born. The whole entire thing ended up with me learning more about myself than ever before. I have no idea if I tried to do my assignment. I have no idea if it made any sort of a difference at all, but I tried. And regardless of whatever happens with that, I guess I'll find out one day when I get to heaven. I don't feel every time I would try to like stop, like, can I please be done with this? God would be like, nope. I would try to, I'm like, God, this is so freaking frustrating. I try to go away, and God would be like, no, you're not done. I'm like, this is so freaking hard. It's like a dog with a bone. Yeah, but it's not me wanting the bone. That sounded terrible.
It's okay. No, that's fine. Yeah. That's funny though.
Mine went somewhere.
Right. Well, okay. So, with my family, like that's what
Yeah.
I had heard that they had premonitions too. Like, so it was obviously, well, the thing about being neurodivergent and being ADHD or ADHD, which I'll let you guys know about that because obviously I do want to get diagnosed with autism if I am. However, but I was saying that the family has that too, and I do know that.
Sorry, I just guarded that whole thing.
No, we were all just talking. No, that's fine.
Sorry.
Is that more of my family is neurodivergent. We are just undiagnosed, and it definitely just makes life happen so much later for us, which is because we get there. It's a big, hard struggle, but
I think what you were along the lines of what we were just saying, and I think why you and I are so, I mean, I don't even feel cocky saying this. The reason that we're so good at this, and the reason why we've had so much positive feedback and people telling us like that it's helped, I absolutely think it's God that brought us together and gave us these gifts and these things, and the being able to notice all of this stuff. But also both of us, we instantly see the good in people before we see the bad, which sometimes can bite you.
Story of my life. Yeah.
Sometimes it can.
I'm like, oh look, flags.
It will bite you
red.
In the butt.
Oops.
Yeah, I see. Like there's like this thing that I was trying to do, and there was red flags waving in my face. It was like there was so many. I basically had a red blanket over my head, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep it, whatever. But I was like, I am not gonna not do what God says. But we see the good that maybe even the person themselves doesn't see. And so when it comes to, and the person is neurodivergent. And so same thing with all the people that we're trying.
What is that also? Broken bird syndrome?
Yes,
because
very much
I always did that. I always collected people, or always thought that I could help people. And it wasn't just whether I could help them or not, but that's also part of the being autistic, where you have a strong sense of justice, where that something is going wrong, and you
strong sense of justice.
You reach out to somebody, and whether they are able to receive it is different. So either they would end up using me, or and I get squashed. So then I was just like, okay, I'm done with that person. But I just remember giving and giving,
yes.
And then until finally I found like the right person, and it was like mutual give and give.
Yes, that I think. Because you and I
was always like that. So
no, I've always been a broken bird collector. But that, like I said,
we do collect things too. I collect
a
lot of cool things.
Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's like back in the past before I was diagnosed, it was just something that I did that was trauma related. Mm-hmm. That whole I don't want someone else to feel the way that I did.
Well, yes.
And then it got moved to like I'll still do it, but God will do it, and He'll bring me people that I never would have thought of in the first place, and like those are the ones that can be very, very difficult. But us being able to see the good in people, we make it our goal to almost force those people to see the good in themselves.
But that's not really possible.
You can't force someone to love themselves.
No.
But that's the joke that I always make. Like, and I even wrote the thing down. It's like, I love hard because my heart has no chill. I have no filter. I have no shame about like how much I care, how much I love. And I will force my love and friendship. I call it friendship assault. You can be like, that's enough. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear this. Quit saying nice things about me. And I will not stop, because the people that fight it the hardest are the people that need it the most. And like I said, it's grumpy old men. Usually grumpy old men is who it happens with.
Well, I had another funny thing to say that was actually about my whole life and being undiagnosed, is that I did not eat meat for almost 30 years. Why is that?
I haven't in 21. I'm kidding.
All right. So, yes, but the not eating meat for almost 30 years and only now finding out how neurodivergent I am, it always had to do with autism and the way it tasted and the way it smelled. It sent my senses. And
Yes.
so guess what? They put me in the category of, oh, you're vegetarian. I'm like, sure, whatever. Because I could not explain it to anybody because they're like, oh, is it about animal rights? And I'm like, I do. I'm like, oh, I do love animal rights, but that's not particularly why I can't eat that.
Any kind of meat, shellfish, anything at all?
Let me think.
Or is it just like beef, pork?
Oh, it was beef, pork. It was pretty much any meat. And yeah, seafood is included in there where I was like, there's no way I can touch that because the smell. However, when I got pregnant with my first child, so that was about 10 years ago, what happened? I was like, I smelled some Chick-fil-A and some cravings happened. I was like, I want that one that I remember having when I was a child. And that's was when I started eating meat again.
Chick-fil-A is God's chicken. It will bring you closer to the Lord.
But I just thought that was hilarious because I was like, oh, I really need to share that because
that's
for
very
years,
interesting.
It was just like, oh, Lindsay's a vegetarian. She doesn't eat meat. And it all had to do because I was undiagnosed, autistic. Yeah. Okay. I'm still undiagnosed with that, but we're pretty sure. But isn't that fascinating?
So so when you say smell and the texture, like what did it smell like? Was it rancid to you?
I mean, it was I'd be here, somebody's over there cooking, I start smelling it, and I already know there's no way I'm eating that. I'm like, that no way. I can't. Like, I just knew instantly that it was not going to happen.
Was it a mental thing, or could you literally, like, physically smell it?
It was smell. It was absolutely smell, because that's what it does. It wafts in. And of course, lo and behold, my boy, my middle child, same thing with him. He's like, oh, no, thank you, Mom. No. But for a while, he'd come up to me while I'm cooking. Hey, Mom, what are you cooking? And that's when I knew he liked the smell of what I was cooking and he was going to eat it. So, but I just thought that was so funny that, yeah, for most of my life, it was a quote unquote vegetarian. And it was only because of that. It was only due to the senses. And
that's very interesting.
So I probably could have eaten some of that if it was not cooked in front of me or near me, which still happens now where my husband grills the food. It's got to be outside.
Well, actually, that does make sense because there's things like people will say, they're like, oh, squirrel meat is so delicious. Mentally, the thought of me eating it, I'm like, no. So if it was in front of me and I knew that's what it was, mentally, I would probably, it would smell different. Everything. I would not be able to do it. It would have to be all done where all of my senses were shut off, so I had no
inclination about it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Now I've had alligator in like gumbo.
I've had alligator
in
sausage.
Louisiana, and same. Oh, it wasn't sausage. It was straight up alligator, and so it just tastes like salty. It tastes like a mix between seafood and chicken. Like it was just a mix, but yeah. I mean, and that's I did love Cajun food, but
yes,
yeah, for the most part, yeah. So weird though. I'm sorry. I just was like, how come I didn't put that together? And nobody else did either. Like, oh, hey, honey, why not? To break down all of the things that
it's so crazy how much autism plays a part, and especially in our age, this age range, and all the people, men and women, that are just now being diagnosed as neurodivergent. The ADHD diagnosis is definitely going up, but I think what a lot of people, because there's such a stigma around autism, and it's almost like, well, only kids these days are being diagnosed with autism. So if I were like, I have a friend that's absolutely ADHD and they acknowledge that, but I also know that they are absolutely autistic, but somebody would take that as such an insult because they would assume autistic. They think Rain Man.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the problem is there's no understanding about it. And that's why that was the other reason why we're forming this channel, because, well, we didn't even know. We were like, wait, what? And then because we don't want anybody to go through what we went through or to be treated a certain way for how they act.
Mm-hmm. Things just as far like processing the things that will overwhelm you, the way that you react in like sensory things, that there's a lot of times when you get labeled as picky, when in reality it's not being picky. It's literally, this is something that will overwhelm your nervous system so much that it physically affects you. It's not just like, man, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, no, it is not like that at all. Oh, if my sister is watching, it is like those salmon cakes that we had when we were younger that, unfortunately, our mom was like, yeah, you got to eat that. That's what's for dinner. Oh, I think, who threw up? One of us. It was unbearable. We could not do it. We knew it. We tried. No. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And what did my little brother, he's like, he's good. And I swear, that's what my brother did, because it was awful.
And once you understand neurodivergent, yeah, granted, there are some kids that they just, there is pickiness. I'm not saying that. But especially if you have a neurodivergent child, that whole thing from back in the day, you're going to cook what I eat or you're going to starve. Mm-hmm. In my house, I will not make 2 cooked meals, but I will, like, okay, so if I'm making like buffalo chicken, before I add the buffalo sauce, I will set aside some of the unseasoned chicken for them.
Okay.
Or, if I'm making pasta, I know Avery does not like pasta sauce. I'll set aside some of the noodles just for butter. Right. But otherwise, if it's not a meal that is possible, like if it's a frozen lasagna or something, look, you can have cereal or you can make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right, something else, yes.
But because like with her, she feels like all sauce is spicy. And so just sensory wise, even if it's not spicy, she swears that it burns her mouth.
Just can't do it.
Mm-hmm. And it creates such an emotional, physical thing for her that, one, it's with a neurodivergent, it's not worth the battle. But also it's me trying to, I have to understand, like, no, for her, this is a real thing.
Yes, absolutely it is.
And forcing her through, now I will say there are things like exposure therapy and stuff. I'm very much pro, in the sense of like, I'm not talking like foods that they don't
yeah, like. I was going to say, I have to say, I probably won't do anything with foods because
not food wise. When I say exposure therapy, I mean, like, I've explained before how Avery has a lot of anxiety about time. And so she doesn't like to be early.
I did this like that. Okay. Right. Well, that's different. Yes.
That's what I mean. When I was young, every single day,
trying to help her get over that
to
part.
Show her nothing, cause and effect, nothing
bad
would happen.
Yes.
When I was little, every day on the way to school, I would say, "Are we late, early, or right on time?" I didn't want to be early because I knew that I would be anxious sitting there waiting on it to start. I didn't want to be late because I knew that I would have to walk in and everyone would see me. I wanted to be there right on the dot. Avery was like that. We would go to gymnastics. We would pull in, and if it was 3:01, she was losing her mind. If it was 2:58, even though we're almost there, she's losing her mind. And so I had to get where I would deliberately wait, and we would get there at like 3:05. Not disrespectfully late, because I don't want to teach her that.
Right.
But enough so that she would on occasion. Like, yes, they called them back right at 3.
Mm-hmm.
She has to walk back there at 3:05, but to show her, like, look, nothing bad is going to happen.
Yeah, that's important. That's definitely important. Yeah, and that was very smart of you.
I wish somebody had done that for me.
Right? Yes. Yeah, because the food thing, it's totally different. I mean, come on.
Choose your battles.
Yeah, exactly. But, they're already telling you, I'm not going to eat that.
Did you color sort those?
Yes.
That's hilarious. We have Skittles on the table, and I look down, and they're all sorted by color.
Somewhat, yes. Yeah, I was like.
Which I just went over in the video that is a visual stim.
Well, I was, I did that, yes. Goodness, we were talking about that. I wanted to, we were talking about demand avoidance in one of our last videos, and I was listening to something called, I was just listening to more things. Pathological demand avoidance, also known as PDA, which is on, you're going to stop me.
No, go on. I have,
Okay.
me write down because I'll forget what I was going to say.
All right. So because I felt that demand avoidance, the way that we explained it last time for ADHDers, does make sense. However, when you add autism in, it doesn't really, I don't know if we got our point across. And so I had to look it up and make sure that we did that, where pathological demand avoidance, PDA, a persistent and marked resistance to demand, I can't read my own writing, is a characteristic experienced. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I ruined my own thing because I can't read my own writing. All right, so experienced by or observed in some autistic people. It can impact essential needs like eating and sleeping and expectations such as going to school or work. So what I wanted to say with that is the impact on essential needs. That was probably the biggest thing that we didn't actually talk about. We only talked about demand avoidance when somebody says, go clean your room or something like that, right? When somebody tells you words that's demanding an exclamation point and you're like, no, we're talking about the really nitty gritty, small, minute things that
like you need
so
to, like
difficult.
you need to eat dinner.
Right.
You need, I think
not
it
just
is,
you need to eat dinner, but it's time to eat. And then
Yeah.
my child's asked 5 times for one thing, I have it, still can't come to do it. I'm like, and yeah, I was trying to tell my sister about it. I was like, no, I was like, pathological demand avoidance is like so much more stronger than what we've been talking about, because
I would like to, and I will do more research to see if that is strictly chemical based on the thing that we learned right away of demand is something we don't want to do, which means it's not going to trigger the brain's reward system, which means it's not going to give us
Right.
dopamine.
Yeah.
Or because I think
because it's a little different.
Yeah. I also, what I wrote down real quick is I think it can also be trauma related, and trauma isn't always like I was beaten, I was in a car wreck. Trauma can just be negative experiences. And so I do think that pathological demand avoidance can come from if you grew up in a house, because 99.999% of our triggers are the results of something that happened in our early childhood or adolescence. 99.99999% of them. If you grew up in a household where you were constantly being almost bullied by your parents, you had no control, you were bossed around, you had no control over anything, then the second that you are out, you'll be damned if you're going to let anybody have control over you again. And it's not so much out of spite as it is out of self-preservation, because it is going to be imprinted on your brain. So your brain has 2 sides, one that holds on to a memory, one that holds on to how your body reacts to that memory. And they do not work together at the same time, unless you're like, when you do EMDR, that's how you cure your PTSD. It stimulates both at the same time. But otherwise, they do not work together at the same time. So you're always going to then associate being told what to do, no matter what it is, as trying to be controlled. That instantly is going to, because they don't work together at the same time, is going to activate that side of your brain that controls how your body reacts, which is going to mean you're going to shut down, you're going to become defiant, you are going to tense up. You might, like for me, I will instantly get angry and I will get defiant, because it's like, I will be damned if anybody is going to control me in any sort of way. Because as a child, you spent so much time feeling out of control, having no sense of control, no autonomy at all. And so your main goal in life then?
That's the other thing. Persistent drive for autonomy is the other pathological. Pathological demand avoidance. That's the other name for it too.
I would have to
but
say,
it
I
does-
think that absolutely is environmental.
Well, it did also say that so resistance to demands is a characteristic experienced by and observed by some autistic people. So it just, I get what you're saying, and I know that that's very true also. But of course,
Yeah,
the
no, I
sentence is
agree. I
saying
agree.
Is that it is a characteristic.
Yes, I can.
Which is
See
what I
that.
was trying to explain to my sister too. I was like, no, it's not just that we're demanding this to you. It's way more than that. That you're just resistant to doing some of these things. However, right. So I don't have the full list of that, but support and recognizing triggers, like she just said about triggers, is to help get through that.
I definitely think too with the autistic side, it definitely is just part of straight up autism, but I do think that also environmental. But I think too, just as you said that, because with autism comes so much the need to understand something.
Yes.
And the why and the reasoning, and it
That's
has
right.
to make sense in your brain.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, your brain is not wired to do it. It's almost like if your brain is a computer system. If every chip is not put in there correctly, it is not going to, the computer is not going to do what it needs to do, what you're asking it to do, if every piece doesn't fit in there. And to a neurotypical person, you would be like, well, look, I got all the pieces in there. They're close enough. Just do the thing. That's not how an autistic brain is going to work. And it would take so long, which then gets parents or people frustrated. Like if, it's time to eat dinner. Even though they know they're going to eat, they're whatever. If they're doing something else, or if they're whatever, or if they feel like their autonomy is taken away, I think in order to get them to do it, and I could be wrong. I want to do more research about this. I'm not a doctor.
It's okay. We're just talking. Yeah.
But I feel like
doctors.
if you sat them down and was like, it is time to eat dinner because we eat dinner at this time. You need to eat in order to have the energy for this. If they understood how and why you get from A to Z, and so you've got all those pieces in there, then but I mean, no,
I like
don't
that
care.
you're saying that, but this is what happens in my house where I'm like, hey, come on, hey, and I yell their name. Hey. Don't even hear me. I can't even get to that point to explain stuff. Oh.
Well, I think hyper focus. If you're in the middle of a hyper focus.
Yeah, they've gone boing, boingy, boingy all over in the house and each other, and yeah, they just cannot even focus. So
no, I think that's when you've got the ADHD, autism. That's when you've got the crossover, the ADHD.
Yes. All right. So, okay. Well, I have a win that I'd like to tell you about.
So I have to. So real quick. So if you are new, or if you're just, are those yours?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They must have fallen out of my bag.
Yeah, I don't want you to lose them.
Thank you.
Okay. So if you're new, a couple things you do need to know about us. I am obsessed, and it's only summer, so I've got to buy as many of these as I can. The Green Edition, Karuba, Elderflower, Red Bulls. Obsessed. If you're local, pick up any that you can. Please bring them to me. I'll be your little love forever. They're getting harder and harder to find. I also obsessed with lip gloss. I will have, it's not even a stem. It's definitely an OCD thing. I will become so anxious and will not be able.
Will it be agitated and just like
agitated, but just literally like anxious, like almost panicked.
Okay, yeah, panicked.
The second I don't feel like my lips are moisturized enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think because I've done it for 20 something years, I might have forked up my mouth so that my lips don't produce moisture on their own. No. It drives me crazy if I see somebody else whose lips are really dry. Like, this is going to make me sound like a serial killer, y'all, but Donald Trump's lips are so freaking dry. And the fact that he wears foundation, like this is gonna make me sound like a serial killer. And oh my gosh, I hope that like the algorithm does not put those two words together.
Too late.
I don't want serial
Okay,
killer.
so but
but
basically,
anyways,
what you're
I
saying
want so bad
is
to
it's
take.
bugging you.
I want to take chapstick and just put it on his lips. Not me put it on. That
I
sounds
mean,
gross.
no.
I want to hand it to him and make him put it on.
No, that I feel that because when I see my kids and I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, honey, and I'm like, come here and get this. Oh boy, because it hurts when I look at it. So
It makes me.
There you go. It does. I'm sure it does the same thing.
Which I think goes back to the autistic thing of we're very much empaths and we project. And I think about how that would make me feel if my lips were dry like that.
Right. Yes.
Anyway, so yes, I will constantly be playing with my hair. I am obsessed with these.
We have stems that we do.
Always have
all the time.
Lip gloss. And because I don't care, I wear wigs. So if today my hair looks like this, and then tomorrow I have brown hair, I wear wigs. I had to have, and I still have to have some surgeries on my head, and it was way easier to cut my hair short than to have them do little pieces where I look like I had mange or whatever. But I freaking love the wigs. They make me feel very confident. I think I look cute as hell in them. I get a lot of compliments. I get people inviting me to romantic cities like Browntown. All right, tell me your win.
Uninvite. Oh.
Decline.
Right. Decline. Oh, okay. So mine's super simple, but mine was asking for help.
You asked for help?
I did. Yes, I asked for help. I also have a business, cut flowers.
Tell about, because this is our first one. I don't care how long it is. It's over an hour. Anybody that's truly interested, they'll sit and watch it.
Sure, that's true.
I don't care. So tell about your business.
Sure. Okay. So I grow and sell
weed. I'm just kidding.
Specialty cut flowers. Jewel Verse Blooms is the name of my business, and I love flowers. I've loved plants. That's been one of my special interests my entire life. I always go back to it when something's going wrong. Doesn't matter what it is. That's my magnet, right? So
and she's very good at it.
Finally decided that I should actually do that for a career. So that is what I do. It has been slow go because I have the littles. They're 3 and 4, and homeschooling. So it's a battle of trying to maneuver that into my life. However, I have been needing help in the garden, and I asked somebody for help that did offer me help. And
is it Sammy?
Yes, but it was like we haven't connected yet. Aside from I said, "Hey, I was like, would you be willing and able to help me out in the garden doing some manual labor?" And that's what she said. Absolutely. And I was like, yes, because I've been struggling. I wrote down my notes. I've been ruminating. I've been kicking myself. I've been too tired. I've been missing prime work times. It's just got covered me up. And I was like, one of my things that I've been working on too is start, stop, continue, which is a Kanban system. And I am supposed
to explain that?
I will in a moment. I was supposed to stop not asking for help. That is one of the things that I have done my whole life. I didn't ask for help, even when I didn't understand something. So
my daughter's off to the side. I apologize.
So, otherwise, the Kanban, it's start something new, continue something, and what you're going to stop. It's basically like a weekly system that it is a way to keep track of what you're doing, what you're keeping track of, what you're missing, what you're.
I'd like
basically something like that.
We can write that out, and I'll post it as a reel or a short. So the people, because I know more people are going to want to know exactly, like, visually, like, what does that mean? You know?
Yeah, we'll have to do that with the little visual Kanban system.
Kanbans are delicious. Peg Bundy ate Kanbans.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I've been just taking your Skittles. I apologize.
Oh, no, that's absolutely fine. So, yep, that was my win, asking for help. So, yes.
Do you have a WTF?
I do not. Do you? Yes. Okay. So that's another thing that we like to do. We like to do some wins, and then we like to do our WTFs because let's face it, we're late diagnosed, perimenopause. There are always some WTFs. So
And the WTFs don't always have to do with ADHD.
True.
A lot of times they're a result, at least in my life, of something ADHD, but not always. So this week, luckily it wasn't as bad, but I made a video about it. It is too easy to send something to the wrong person on Instagram. I send a lot of reels. I already made a little thing about this and I put it on Instagram, but since this is through YouTube. So I send a lot of reels. You click the little arrow thing, the little thing that looks like a paper airplane, whatever. It brings up a list of like 9 or 12 people, just their faces. And you can just like click, and send it right to them. After you click on it, it puts a little blue check next to it. And then you can either send as a group or send separately. I hate it when people add me to group messages. I'm like, oh, I hope you die. I hate that. It's almost as bad as calling me on the phone. But so, and then, whatever, I'll click, and then I'll just hit send. I accidentally add people I did not mean to all the time. Then I'll have to go in there and I'll have to hit unsend. Sometimes I'll message the person that I unsent it to and be like, look, I'm not trying to be a weirdo and like send a message and then take it back. I wasn't emailing you, like messaging you like, I hate you, F off. And then I decided to be nice. But I also don't want to be like, hey, I sent you a reel about whatever, because it's usually inappropriate.
Now I understand why that says in my inbox, unsent sheet, that it was unsended. Mm-hmm. I had been meaning to ask you about that. And I just forget about it because it's out of mind. But
yes, I
so that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, unsent is because I sent something that I did
like, why would you send something to me and then unsend it? I go,
I did not mean to. Like, but there's, like I said, there's some people that it depends on your relationship with them. You'll send something and you'll have to unsend it, and then you're like, damn it, I bet they're gonna think that I freaking did that like to get their attention or whatever, and you're like, ugh, and you didn't. And so what happened, this was this funny reel about, it said, if you ever feel that spark and you think about getting back with your ex, remember this. And it was a guy lighting a firework, and the firework shoots off, and instead of going in the air, it hits this person walking by right in the head, and they like hit the ground. Oh, no. I have several girlfriends that are going through divorces, or they just got divorced. So I meant to be like, click. I sent it to 2 people I didn't mean to. One, I got in there pretty sure in time and unsent it.
Okay.
The other one, apparently I did not, because I get a message from my friend, one of my girlfriends, and I haven't talked to her in a while, and I did not realize that she got back with her dumped husband, and they're getting remarried.
Oh.
So she was like, are you trying to take a knock at me? I'm like, what? She's like, me and insert name we're getting remarried in January. And I was like, oh, what impulsive, hyperactive Michelle wanted to say was, you are the stupidest broad alive. But I didn't. I just said, nope. I just said, God is good. I said it by accident.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say, that's...
So, yeah.
You would have been like, but now that I know.
I'm going to send you some about making mistakes and not going back to people just because whatever.
We don't know, yeah.
No, this guy's the freaking loser. I hate him. But I don't hate people. I strongly dislike him. And I don't care if you see this, Jeremy. I'm not saying his last name.
Oh, man. That's funny.
I need to be a better person. I think I have a win.
That's good.
I think. No, I don't.
Oh.
I was trying to think of one on the fly.
Oh, I did have some random thoughts. Okay, one was we do a lot of active relaxing. I go, isn't that a nice word? Active relaxing. What does that mean? We're like,
do I do active relaxing?
You might be like, oh, I'm editing, but no, I'm relaxing. I'm fine.
I don't think there's ever been a time when I said I was relaxing.
Okay,
but maybe be on my phone is relaxing.
No. I don't know. So no. So
I don't think I ever relax.
Okay, well, I active relax in the evening where I'm playing a game, some type of Tetris Sudoku thing or whatever, and then a show is on that I'm listening to. That's my active relaxing.
Okay, then yes, I do that.
Right, but isn't that a nice word for it? Active relaxing.
Yes, it does.
I think that's a big thing for ADHDers.
Jack is never at home in the evenings to be sitting there watching TV with you, though, is he?
No, but I find him doing the same thing.
Okay.
When I go in and see him later, he's got the TV on, Star Wars or something else, or wrestling the other night, and then
he watches wrestling too.
And then he's on old stuff. I think the old stuff, and then he's got the fire out, and he's doing a game or listening to something else.
Those are my two. That is how I relax.
See,
it drives my husband nuts. My husband is neurotypical.
Well, now you can tell him. I said, this is my active relaxing.
I've tried to explain that. Because one of his love languages is quality time, he does not consider it quality time, even if it is not a time when we would be speaking. If it is just us watching a movie together, he takes it insanely personal if I am not completely invested in the movie, even though we are sitting there in silence. It's not like, let's have a serious talk and I'm doing something. We're doing two things. I think he's maybe a kind of bit understanding it more, especially I just showed him a thing earlier this week that showed it was a thing. It's like how autistic people show their love. And one of them was like just wanting to be in proximity to you, just wanting to be in the same room. Doesn't have to be talking. They can be on their phone, not doing anything, but it's
not like on the phone.
No, but just wanting to be in proximity with you. And so, but even he did say that's really hard for me to wrap my mind around because that's my husband's like, Matt is very much like, he feels pressure to fill the silence. He feels pressured he feels like it's rude or that it's something, makes him feel some kind of negative way if you're sitting with someone and you're not actively engaging each other. Now, granted, if you're at dinner with somebody, yes. Mm-hmm. But when you've been married 21 years and you're sitting in the living room together, unless it was hey, we need to talk, he still cannot get over we need to be actively engaging.
Right. And I wonder if that's his age and his past of what he was brought up in, or if that is just how
he's always been a big talker though.
Okay.
I joke. I mean, I say this to his face. My husband is a gas can, loves to talk, but he's very passionate about what he talks about. But he will get going, and I'm like, because you've only got me for a very short window of time.
Well, now you can say, hey, this is my active relaxing. I have to do this. I have to do that. Like I was going to say, when I do want to see a movie with somebody, which is rare, but like my sister comes over and she's like, come on, let's go sit. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. Oh, I'm sitting on my couch. Oh, weird. What am I doing? Anyway.
I still would have to be on my phone.
Well, the other thing I instead of on the phone, then I'm just like, okay, get the notebook and then I'm drawing. And then that's it. I'm drawing the whole time. Now,
but it's the whole, you're having both sides of your brain stimulated at the same time.
Yes, where I'm listening, and then it's like when it gets really intense and really interesting, then guess what? The pen is down, and I'm like this. Oh, mm-hmm. So there was another random thought that I had today that I told my sister, and she laughed at me. But I was like, okay, so if we had AI that could listen to an ADHD brain's thoughts, because as you know, our being ADHD. We are and our working memory, we are unable to hold on to some of those thoughts. Could you imagine if AI could be attached to our ADHD brains Do you know how much
trouble I would be in?
that too? But do you also know how many things would be solved? Like if if the AI could actually write down all the things that you just like
The pertinent information things.
Right, 100 different things that went through your mind, and it wrote it down. And you're like, oh my gosh, because what happens to me is I think of it, and then there it goes, flies out. It like slips through my grasp, and that drives me nuts. But
yeah, there would be time that would be.
I was like, can you just imagine the things that we would actually get done if we could remember that we wanted to do this?
That aspect, yes, it would be very helpful. There's other times because you'll have fleeting thoughts that, and you're just like if those came out, you'd be like, oh,
yes, nowadays, then you just be like, hey, AI, don't ever repeat that.
These are the categories of things that AI.
Is that what you're saying?
That we need to block. Kind of like how you have you can select like the nudity protection and stuff on Instagram. I would have to be like, if it has to do with beards, tattoos, a lot of things that would get me in a lot of trouble.
Well, it's like
raccoons, how much I want to get and domesticate a raccoon so bad.
I've seen people do that. I go, why not?
I have asked Matt so many times. He usually gives me anything that I want if I'm pushy enough. The man will not let me get and domesticate a raccoon because he obviously hates me.
Oh, you have to put locks on all the food. Like everywhere there's food.
Well, I have to do that anyway because of my kids.
Oh, right. But I was seeing the raccoons, they go and they get through everything. But yeah,
I would love, I told, we talked about him before. I don't care if he sees it. So one of my students is, I'm friends with his dad. So I sent a thing to Josh earlier, actually. And I was like, I need an emotional support raccoon. Can you please help make this happen?
That's
and awesome. I know he's like, Michelle, you're a freaking idiot.
I know possums aren't as, look, she's like, no, not possum. However, we rescued a possum one time, or actually a friend did, and the possum was a mom and it had babies, and so we rescued the babies, and we were hanging out with I don't know how many there were, 8 or 9 little tiny babies. You know what they would do? They would crawl up your leg, all up here, and when you had your hair out, they would go and they would bite, they'd hold on your hair, and that's where they would sleep.
That is a nightmare. I am going
to. They were super cute. Aside from when they ran towards me, they ran with their mouth open like a crocodile. You know.
The thought of that.
They were cute. They're good for getting rid of the ticks from your yard. So
we have several in our yard so we feed these 2 feral cats.
Wild cats, right? Ferals.
And it's drawn in. We have
the wildlife.
Yeah, we have raccoons. We have one raccoon that comes. He is fat as hell, and I love him, and I wish I could lure him in the house. But here, what I really want, and Matt's going to get, he's heard me say this before. So the possum comes. Occasionally, because if you have a Ring camera, it neighbors can post things. Several times within a few miles of our house, there's been a baby bear. I want to put out some salmon so bad.
Jar of honey.
Because I feel like this is how stupid I am. Stupid / confident. I feel like I am adorable and charming enough that I could domesticate a bear instantly.
Oh no, we know this is not true. We know. But oh my gosh.
I think I could do it. I think it would just sense this chick is cool as hell. She would love me. I would let it live in the house. I would make Avery and AJ share a room. I'd probably give it Avery's room. Well, it would depend if it was a boy or a girl. But yeah, I want to lure a bear in our backyard so bad.
Gosh, no, don't do it. I did want to lure those hogs that came through our yard, but they ran so fast. Dude, okay.
All right. We went an hour and 18 minutes.
Nice.
Anybody who watches it.
Yep.
I have a couple of friends that I know.
Maybe my brother will see it and he'll just be like, oh, I feel like I hung out with my sister.
Exactly. You know what? I'll send it to my brother. So I sent my brother. Okay. I have two brothers. I'll tell the whole story later. I have a brother that I
Yeah,
searched
because
for.
we don't want to go longer now.
No, I have a brother that I searched for like 20 something years. I just found him last year. But then I have my brother that I was raised with. Over the last couple of years, I've lost over 200 pounds. He hasn't seen me. So I sent him a picture yesterday. And I was like, hey, I don't know if you've seen me in a while. This is the best compliment a brother can give you. He goes, wow. He goes, you look less like than usual. Oh, but no, that's such a compliment from him. He's like, that's the best compliment you're going to get from a brother. And I'm like, that is the sweetest thing you've ever told me. You look less like than you usually do. That's a WTF moment.
Oh, I was gonna say that sounds like yeah.
All right. So
That's it.
I'm Michelle
I'm Lindsay.
with ADHD, How to WTF.
Till next time.
Bye.